Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is on top-down analysis for the month of July 2025, but we have missed Monday. That means Monday has played out. We see the candle for Monday, but we are going to go through what we're expecting within the week. And before we start, we have to look at the economic calendar. So let's look at the economic calendar and see the news we have for the week. Here is the economic calendar for the week from 30th June to 4th July 2025. I have also filtered the currency I'm looking at. So I have Euro, I have GBP, and I also have USD. And here I have only filtered the high impact news, which is the red folder news, and also bank holiday. When applied, I have this as the news. So Tuesday, we have also red folder, even though it's not a high impact red folder news. So on Wednesday, we also have red folder news, even though it's not a high impact red folder news. But on Thursday, we have NFP, is a high impact red folder news. So we are not trading during NFP days, which is on Thursday. And this NFP is coming on Thursday because of the bank holiday on Friday. Normally, it's supposed to be on the last day of the week, which is Friday. But because of the bank holiday, we see NFP coming on Thursday. So let's start the analysis on DXY, which is the dollar, and see what the dollar will present for the week. Here we are on the dollar index, and this is the weekly time frame. So currently we have price has created this down move on Monday, yesterday. Previously, that is last week, weekly candle, we see price have swept liquidity above this high, and then price has entered into this bearish order block. Now we see a massive displacement below, though we have a draw on liquidity this week for price to enter, which is this fair value gap. And if we look at price action from the left, previously what price has done, if you look at it, we will see that we have a fair value gap at this level. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to come into the fair value gap at this level. Then we will see price either closing below this fair value gap and then retesting it, or price to reject from this fair value gap and return back into this range. So what am I expecting? I want to see price coming into this fair value gap, close below it, and then have a retest of it, then continue bearish, or price should retest this fair value gap and then have it back into the range. So this is what I'm expecting on the weekly time frame. So we are moving to the 4 hours time frame. Let's see what the 4 hours is doing. So here we have the 4 hours last week. We see this sweep of liquidity above this high. Not that price has swept this liquidity above this high. We see that this relative or this equal highs price has swept liquidity above it. So right from there, we see price moving bearish. So yesterday, we see this consolidation on the 4 hours time frame. I want you to pay attention to this because on the 4 hours time frame, we determine the structure. And on the 4 hours time frame, we see this consolidation. And a lot of people were expecting price to reverse to bullish, but what we have already, we see consolidation. And based on price rule, that is the golden rule of trading, price don't reverse from consolidation. Price will consolidate, and then when you see a consolidation, it's either price will manipulate and continue the direction, or price will expand in the direction, and we see price expanding in the direction. So if you're new to this channel, there's a big video on the golden price rule. You can go through it and see how price moves. So we have consolidation and we see price expanding. So right now is either price entered into the point of interest on the weekly, which is the fair value gap, before price coming back into this range, or price should come into this range, and we have a fair value gap before price should retest this fair value gap or draw to this fair value gap. But what we see currently, we are bearish on the 4 hours time frame, and to me, I'm likely to see price coming into this fair value gap. Let me zoom in. We are likely to see price coming into this fair value gap before coming into this fair value gap, because this is the draw on liquidity. If this should remain open, so this will be acted upon by price on NFPD. But here we see we also have this other block here. This is an up close candle. If price should violate this other block, then this fair value gap will be our target. But I want to see price finding support on this bearish other block for us to target this weekly fair value gap. So guys, this is what we have on the 4 hours. Let's go to the 15 minutes time frame and see what the 15 minutes time frame is doing on the dollar index. So 15 minutes time frame On the 15 minutes time frame, we see this is our massive consolidation, and then inside the consolidation we have a price range. What is the price range? We see price creating, sweeping this high, and also creating a daily range at this low, at this level, because we see buy side being taken, sell side being taken, and we see another price range from this high, because we see this high has been swept by this liquidity. This particular high has been taken by this liquidity, and we see another level being broken. That is price has swept liquidity below this level. So we see another price range from this high to this low here. We might likely to see this price range, but based on the price range grading rule, we might see price retracing from the 75% level, and this is where the order block is. If we should violate this order block on the 4-hour time frame, we will likely to see price coming into the 50%. But what I'm expecting to see price respecting this order block. And if you look at it, when we put our Asian level, that is Asian box, we will see that price can come into the 50% of the order block, retest it for bearish price into our fair value gap before we see any kind of move. So let's move to GU and EU and see what they are doing. This is GU, and here we are on the weekly time frame. Price is bullish. Last week we see price created this displacement bullish by sweeping this liquidity below this low and then finding support on this fair value gap, which is internal range liquidity. We see price taking out external range liquidity, and we are likely to create an internal range liquidity because we see price is bullish this week. We're willing to target this high as an external range liquidity while it creates an internal range liquidity. So we don't have much on weekly time frame. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame. On the 4 hours time frame, we see there is a massive displacement, but I want to draw attention on this price range because we have a price range from this high here and also this low here. We have a price range. If you put your price range grading tool, we see that price is at what? At discount level, and at the discount level that is below 50%, we see a fair value gap. Normally, I trade this particular model and it's currently playing out on GU. We see we have this fair value gap inside the likelihood of having a fair value gap on the weekly, but I will remove this one, which is the likelihood of fair value gap on the weekly. We see here that we have this fair value gap and price entered into it. That is an internal range liquidity. What are we expecting? We're expecting an external range liquidity. And the model I do trade, which is my A+ model, is when we have an internal range liquidity, price come into it and we have an SMT divergence with the positive correlated pair. Guys, if you don't know anything about SMT divergence, I have a video in my bio on SMT divergence. You can click on the link and learn. So we have SMT divergence with the EU. So we see we have SMT divergence with EU. Now, what are we expecting? We're expecting to see price closing above candle that sweep the liquidity. So here we see price closing above this down candle that facilitated the sweep of liquidity. So here we have a change in the state of delivery. We have change in the state of delivery. And our entry can come on the change in the state of delivery. Here we can have an entry. Stop loss should be below the order block. That is change in the state of delivery, and we should target 1:2. So what are we expecting? We're expecting to see price taking this, but our first partial will be taken above this. So we are bullish on GU, and this is an A+ setup being given here. So what do we see here? How do we determine our SMT with EU? If you go to EU, you see that there's an SMT divergence here. So here we're expecting price to be bullish on GU because we're expecting price to be bearish on dollar index. So here, let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. What do we have on the 15 minutes time frame? On the 15 minutes time frame, yesterday we see price created a power of 3, and we see consolidation, and we see manipulation, we see displacement. Now we are yet to complete the displacement because we see price is at the Asian box. What we're expecting price to continue going bullish right from the change in the state of delivery here we have. But if price should give us power of 3, we should have price taking out this Asian low before we go bullish. So currently I'm buying this GU. Yesterday I placed my trade around this level because I scaled down my time frame using time frame alignment, and I had my entry at this level. So I'm buying at this level. Currently I'm buying, but I'm expecting price to continue bullish because on 4 hours time frame, I can see I have my bullish trade. So let's go to the EU and see what the EU is doing. Here is EU weekly time frame, and we are bullish on the weekly time frame. We don't have much on the weekly time frame because we're going to be bullish if dollars is going to be bearish, seeking that draw on liquidity on fair value gap on the weekly time frame. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame on the weekly time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we can see we have a structure, and we see price break this structure here above this high. We see break of market structure above this high, and we see price created this fair value gap. So yesterday we have this failure swing here. We see price created a failure swing at this level, which is the SMT. So what I'm expecting price to continue bullish on the weekly time frame. So if we are going to be buying, we might see a fair value gap where we might tap in, because there's a fair value gap here, and also we have another fair value gap on EU 4 hours time frame. So these two fair value gaps should be our area of focus. On 15 minutes time frame, what do we have? We see this fair value gap sitting below this Asian low. So price might come into this fair value gap, give us an SMT, then we'll continue bullish. So there's nothing much on EU because GU has better price action for now than EU. So I'm focusing on GU. Let's go to the dollar and look at what gold is going to give us. So here is gold. Let's commence on the weekly time frame on gold. Let's look at what the weekly is going to give us. So on the weekly time frame, we see price is respecting this order block here on the weekly time frame. This down close candle is an order block, and we see price is respecting the order block. If you mark the order block, we see price is respecting the mid threshold of this order block, and we see price have swept this previous week low inside the order block. Price to be bullish, and we might see price having a retracement once this is tapped. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hour time frame, we're going to look at structure, and here what do we have? We see price sweeping this liquidity at this level on 4 hours time frame. And then we have this breaker block, or we can use this change in the state of delivery, these two down consecutive candle. If you take it, you see price coming into it with a what? With a fair value gap. So this is a strong bullish price. And then what are we expecting? We see that price has violated this fair value gap. So we're likely to have this as an inverted fair value gap, IFVG. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to come here, then we have something like this, then like this, or we can see price continue like this, then we see like this, and then like this. So I'm expecting price to continue bullish. On 15 minutes time frame on the gold, we see that price is bullish, and we're expecting price to come here. There's nothing much, but we can put our Asian box to see if we can have an entry on the 15 minutes. On the 15 minutes time frame, I need to see price sweeping this low for me to buy, or sweeping this particular low for me to buy. So guys, this is my outlook on